Welcome, one and all, to the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, proudly brought to you by Pro Wrestling Central, for the people, by the people. I am, of course, your host, the CEO of PWC, your boy Nashville, and I'm so happy and so proud to be able to present to you our 8th annual award show. That's right, we've been doing this every single year since the year 2017, where you, the people, you, the fans, get to vote on what you felt was the best and worst of pro wrestling in the year that was 2024. It's been a great year, a lot of ups and downs. We at Pro Wrestling Central have grown exponentially, and I thank you all who have subscribed, who are watching this video around the world. I know we have viewers from around the globe, and I thank you all for watching this special presentation every single year on the 30th of December. We've had this since 2017, and since the year 2021 we have had it right here on the Pro Wrestling Central YouTube channel, and I'm glad you all could join us. We've got a lot of awards. Thank you all who casted your vote in this year's voting period that was from the 30th of November till the 20th of December 2024. The votes have been tallied, they've been counted, adjudicated. I have all of the awards right here with me. As you can see, all of them right here in envelopes, and I'm about to present to you the winners of every single award right here on this special presentation, the awards presentation, the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards presentation for the year 2024. We're going to be presenting to you the best and worst of pro wrestling as voted for by you, the fans, right here, right now. And without further ado, let's get right into it. But before we get into it, every year we know we have to honor those who have left the pro wrestling fraternity in one way or another, and that is why we established, ever since the beginning, the honorary awards. It's kind of like the honorary oos, but all jokes aside, honorary awards, and this is where we honor those who have either retired or, in a more unfortunate circumstance, passed away and has left us in the pro wrestling world. So I have the awards right here. I'm going to get to them one by one, and yeah, let's get started. First off, Alex Coughlin. Now, some of you may not know this guy, may not know his name, because he's mostly a New Japan Pro Wrestling guy. He wrestled mostly in New Japan, and I think a little bit in ROH. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But Alex Coughlin is our first inductee. He retired this year. So all the names I'm reading to you now are retired wrestlers. Alex Coughlin is the first, New Japan alumni. Tucker Knight. I know there's a legal bald eagle somewhere right now that's shaking his head because I'm about to do something, and he knows exactly what that is. Ooh yeah, Tucker, yeah. Some of you know what that is. Otis, yeah. Heavy Machinery. Otis was part of a tag team called Heavy Machinery, and Tucker was his tag team partner. Ooh, Tucker, yeah. And Tucker Knight has decided he's had enough of it, and he has retired from pro wrestling this year. Another name some of you may recognize, Marco Stunt. Some of you may know him as the midget wrestler. He was part of the Jurassic Express with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Didn't do really much as a wrestler, so I guess it was just time to hang the boots up. But Marco Stunt is part of the honorary awards as a retiree this year. Another retiree, Vampiro. Those of you who watched WCW and more notoriously Lucha Underground, excuse me, you may know the name Vampiro. He was a commentator and he wrestled in a few matches in Lucha Underground. Most notably was his match against Pentagon Jr. at Ultima Lucha in 2015, I believe it was. So hats off to Vampiro for an excellent showing and a great career, and he ended his career in AAA in Mexico. Next up we have Michael Elgin. Some of you may or may not know the name. I think most notably he was in New Japan and TNA. He was in TNA for a while. The unbreakable Michael Elgin. Some of you may know him by that name. So, Michael Elgin, hats off to you, sir. Great career. Next up, one that was a little unexpected, but after everything he's been through, we kind of saw it coming. You know who I'm talking about. Glorious Bobby Roode. That's right, the glorious Bobby Roode. Former NXT champion. Great career, had a few singles, mid-card title runs in WWE, but didn't go any further than that. Injuries just didn't permit it, so Bobby Roode retired this year and he earns an honorary award for it. And probably the most talked about retirement of 2024. I'm not talking about in the future, I'm not talking about any other, I'm talking about like full-time retirements. We're talking about it's Sting! That's right, I'm talking about Sting, the icon from AEW. Had his last match at AEW Revolution in, was it February or March this year, I believe, alongside Darby Allin against the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. And yeah, hats off to you, Sting. A great career, from Surfer Sting to the Crow Sting to NWO Sting to WWE Sting to AEW Sting to TNA Sting. We love you, Sting. Thank you for all the memories. And now, we're going to get a moment of silence for those wrestlers who have unfortunately passed on and unfortunately left us this year in 2024. I've got a lot of names here. Thankfully, none of them, well, a lot of them are very, very sad, but last year it really hit us really bad. So, yeah, here goes. Here goes nothing. First up, we have Psycho Sid, or Sid Justice, as he was known in WCW. In WWE, or WWF at the time, he was Psycho Sid. Passed away this year. And, yeah, you know, you get these, and it's no joke, and it's just a sad occasion. Then we have Pete Rose. Some of you guys know him as having a running gag with Kane from, I believe, 1998 or 99 at WrestleMania every year. He was attacked and tortured by Kane. So Pete Rose is, I believe, in the WWE Hall of Fame. So thank you, Pete Rose, for that. Now it's going to get a little bit heavy because we have two names in here that are, I believe I'm going to do them both at once because doing them separately doesn't make any sense. Alpha and Sika NOI of the NOI family, the Wild Samoans as they were known. So one of them, as you know, is Roman Reigns' father. The other one is Roman Reigns' uncle, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Alpha and Sika NOI, the Wild Samoans, both passed away this year, just months apart. So really, really sad. And just a shockwave across the wrestling world. As much as you know you're going to pass away someday, Desmond Dubé never fails to remind us of that, but you never really expect it when it happens. We have another one here. Virgil, the busboy, the slave, quote unquote, of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Virgil passed away this year. Just a sad story about that wrestler, really. I really wish he would have reached bigger heights, but I guess such is life. And last but certainly never least, Ole Anderson, brother of Arn Anderson, the Anderson brothers, the Four Horsemen. This guy here was instrumental. He was the guy behind the Shockmaster voice and the idea. He was the guy behind the scenes in gorilla position. A great absolute mind for the business that this man has. Ole Anderson deserves every bit of recognition, even if posthumously he deserves to be recognized, and we give him an honorary award right here in the Pro Wrestling Central Awards, the 8th annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards for the year 2024. Those are the honorary awards. Now we move on to an award that you guys have voted for in the last 3 years. Initially, we initiated it in 2020 as an award. It was not an award before, but circumstances that year led us to feel like, that a certain wrestler in that year deserved it, and we just kept it running every single year, and you guys got to vote on it for the last 3 years, and this year was no different. I'm of course talking about the Lifetime Achievement Award, and a lot of you guys voted for this guy to receive the award. So without any further ado, the winner, the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Awards in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards for the year 2024 goes to Randy Orton. I hear voices in my head. Randy Orton wins the Lifetime Achievement Award for the year 2024. Well deserved. This guy's career in WWE alone in the main roster spans about 12 years. 12 years in the WWE main roster. Sure, he's had injuries on and off, but I mean, collectively, this man is a legend. He started off as the Legend Killer, and now he himself is a legend, an undisputed first ballot Hall of Famer. That is Randy Orton. Thank you, Randy Orton, for the years that you have put into the WWE, all the way from OVW to the main roster. We appreciate you. We love you, Randy. Thank you, Randy. And you are the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award in the year 2024, courtesy of Pro Wrestling Central. Thank you, Randy. Let's get a chant out there. Now, before we move on with the rest of the awards that you guys voted for, we introduced a new award this year, and we didn't put it out in the votes because we knew for two reasons. Number one, we're doing a test run with this particular award, and number two, we kind of sort of knew that if we put this award out, you guys were going to vote for the same thing that we know you would vote for, because there's really only one moment in the year that matches this award, and that is the Feel Good Moment of the Year 2024. And just from the title alone, you know what I'm talking about, and we thought it would be apt this year to introduce this award, because you and I both know as we sit here what the best Feel Good Year of the moment was. So for the first ever inaugural Feel Good Moment of the Year goes to Cody Rhodes finishing his story at WrestleMania XL. I mean, come on. There's not a single person alive on planet Earth that can lie to me and tell me they didn't feel something when Cody finished his story at WrestleMania XL. So Cody, well done, congratulations. Now it's time for you to show us what you can do as the WWE Champion. The WWE Undisputed Champion. Remember the title you're carrying. So Cody, best of luck, and you win our very first Feel Good Moment of the Year, because it was apt to introduce such an award this year. Now moving on to the OMG Moment of the Year Award. And it goes to, voted for by you guys, the fans. OMG Moment of the Year Award goes to the Wyatt 6 debut. Man, if you want to talk about cinema, look no further than the Wyatt 6 debut on Raw. That was absolute cinema at its finest. The way it was filmed, the way it was played out. I think they just need a little bit of help in terms of getting it to make sense or getting it to that next level. But in terms of the debut, absolute brilliance at its finest. Let's lighten the mood now with the LOL Moment of the Year Award, as voted for by you guys. And it goes to, this one was funny because there were some people who voted 2 in their one vote, and then there were some people who voted 1 in the other, and we just decided let's just give it to both because they're the only 2 in the votes, so why not? LOL Moment of the Year 2024 goes to R-Truth and Carlito segments. Any R-Truth in any Carlito segment is pure comedy gold. Those guys just know how to make you laugh. I mean, from R-Truth doing the wrong things, saying the wrong things, calling people by the wrong names, getting Pete Dunne and Butch mixed up, getting DIY mixed up with DX, getting Carlito. I mean, the whole thing about looks pretty odd to me, and his comedy segment. I don't know if Carlito's taking classes from Our Truth, but damn. Oh man, Our Truth and Carlito are just absolute comedy gold, and that's what earned them the LOL Moment of the Year award for the year 2024. Now, moving on to the best and worst awards as voted for by you, the fans. Starting off with the worst Pro Wrestling Promotion of the Year award, and it goes to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. I mean, I really can't argue with this because you guys voted for it and it makes so much of sense, but yeah, it's just sad to see this. I mean, in 2019 and 2020, the AEW won the award. They were kicking WWE's ASS, and now just WWE just taken over them, and it's like, what happened, you know? But Tony Khan, AEW needs some help, and we want AEW to succeed, but at the rate it's going, it's just not going to happen, and that's why it's gotten the worst Pro Wrestling Promotion of the Year award. I'm sorry. You guys voted. You guys know exactly what the problems are. On the contrary, the best Pro Wrestling Promotion of the Year in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards goes to, as voted for by you for the second year in a row, WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, headed by the chief content creator Triple H. WWE is now on an up and up. And we're grateful to WWE and Triple H for taking it in the amazing direction that it has. Excuse me. So, thank you WWE, thank you Triple H for giving us an amazing show over at WWE. Now, moving on to the worst pay-per-view or event of the year, and it goes to WWE Crown Jewel 2024. You know, WWE is doing amazing. They're doing great. They're doing better than any other wrestling promotion out there. But when you see shows like this, you just think to yourself, something's missing. It just didn't hit. And sometimes it's a hit and miss. And this was a definite miss. It was WWE Crown Jewel 2024. Yeah, I don't know. You guys voted, but I've got no comment on this. But I can see why you guys voted it. Probably an unnecessary pay-per-view, if you were to ask me. Now, moving on to the best pay-per-view of the year, 2024, and it goes to, undoubtedly, without a shadow of a doubt, this deserves it, WWE WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40. Mwah! Chef's Kiss Gold from Saturday to Sunday night. Absolute, incredible, amazing matches, an amazing show. I can see no wrong in this award given for the best pay-per-view of the year. WWE's WrestleMania 40 was the epitome of what pro wrestling is, and no one is going to change my mind about that. I'm so glad you guys voted for it. You saw it, so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It deserves being the best pay-per-view of the year for the year 2024. Moving on to a more contentious issue, the worst theme song of the year 2024 at the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, as voted for by you guys, and it goes to not a one particular song, but because you guys mentioned it in your votes, Def Rebel. Any single Def Rebel song is absolute 100% certified garbage and trash, and we do not want it, nor do we need it. Fire Def Rebel, get rid of them. We don't want them, we don't need them. They are a useless piece. They are a carbuncle on the backside of humanity, and they are not wanted. That's Nash going on a little bit of a rant. I love my WWE music the way it was, the way Jim Johnston produced it, the way CFOs produced it. Def Rebel is absolute garbage, and every single song that they have made in WWE, I don't give a damn, is the worst theme song of the year, and I'm so glad you guys voted for that. So I could get my rant out. I'm so glad you guys saw what I saw in their crappy, substandard, unstandardized music. Moving on to the best theme song of the year 2024, and for the second year in a row it goes to Cody Rhodes Adrenaline in my soul. Something, something. Lana Rhodes. Cody Rhodes' theme song for the second straight year in a row. Third straight year, I don't even know. Or is it? I don't know. But yeah. His theme song is absolute gold. Absolute gold. This guy's theme song. Like, and it's not produced in WWE. It's produced independently by Cody Rhodes outside of WWE. It's licensed and used by him. So it just suits him perfectly. And yeah, it's incredible. Moving on to the worst storyline of feud of the year 2024 in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, as voted for by you guys, and it goes to one I cannot argue with, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Adam Cole, baby! Yeah. We had so much of hope for this feud, based off how World's End ended last year in 2023 when Adam Cole turned on MJF, costing him the AEW World Championship against Samoa Joe in the main event. And for it to turn out the way it has is just sad, really. It's just... there's no ways to describe how just bad that is. Like, However, on the contrary, the best storyline of feud of the year, as voted for by you guys, goes to CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Now, if you want a class to show you how a wrestling show should be booked, this right here, this is it. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, absolute first class, the best show I can ever think of that they could produce. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre just blew us away with their amazing, incredible feud that ran through the year 2024, from even before WrestleMania all the way through until Bad Blood, and he was still touched on by Drew a couple of weeks ago during his promo to explain why he attacked Sami Zayn. And yeah, it's just that too good. That's all I can say. It's just absolute wonderful. Absolutely wonderful feud, and it deserves storyline of feud of the year 2024. Now, in every storyline of feud, there's always a promo or segment that leads up to it, and now we're going to talk about the worst promo or segment of the year 2024 as voted for by you guys. And this one, AEW showing the CM Punk and Jack Perry footage from AEW All In London 2023. Why? Why would you do that? Why? Just why? There was no need for that. I don't know. I don't understand you, Tony Khan. I don't understand you, AEW. Why would you want to show that footage at all? No words. No words. Yeah. It's just nasty when, it's like going back to an ex and then just beating a dead horse. It's just not worth it. The best promo segment of the year goes to, however, the Wyatt 6 debut. Again, they win the second. They bag the second award of the night here. Absolute cinema, like I said. There's nothing more I can say that's going to do that segment justice. That is why it is the best promo segment of the year 2024, the Wyatt 6 debut. I said all I needed to say in previous awards that they won, so that's 2 awards for the Wyatt 6. Last year, Dominic Mysterio, I think, walked away with 2 or 3 awards. So Wyatt 6 is the first this year to get 2 awards. So congratulations to all the members of the Wyatt 6. Now moving on to the worst chance or catchphrase of the year 2024, and it goes to not one particular audience, but all American crowds. This year, WWE showed us something. They toured. They took the Elimination Chamber to Australia. They took Backlash to France, the best crowd ever, by the way. They went to Germany. They went to Saudi Arabia as usual. They went to Scotland. They went everywhere. They went to Montreal. They went to Toronto. They went to Vancouver. Nowhere have those crowds not been hot. However, with the exclusion of WrestleMania, American crowds, whether that be the Royal Rumble, whether that be Bad Blood, whether that be any show or event or pay-per-view that is held in America, they just show us why the international crowds are better. Maybe it's because the international crowds don't get it as much, which is why they're more ruckus. But again, the American crowds, WWE and pro wrestling emanated from you guys. You guys took it to the next level. You made it sports entertainment. Well, we know who made it sports entertainment, but you guys supported it and made it as big as it is. Maybe it's exhaustion, maybe it's fatigue, you get fan fatigue. Maybe that's it, but I'm going to contrast it now because I know what you guys voted for when I read the awards results. Best chant or catchphrase of the year doesn't go to one chant or one catchphrase. It goes to an entire crowd. The Backlash France crowd. They are the winners of the best catchphrase or chant of the year. Imagine an entire crowd from a pay-per-view wins the award for best chant or catchphrase of the year. Not a single chant, not a single catchphrase emanating from the US. An international crowd, a crowd from France, a crowd that we didn't expect to have such a ruckus response. They blew us away. As contrast to the American audience that won the worst award because I don't know. Next year, I hope to see some change in these awards. But Backlash France crowd that was at Backlash, thank you so much. Thank you for being a ruckus crowd. I hope WWE comes back to you again. I hope you guys get a WrestleMania. I hope you guys get all the best pay-per-views because you guys deserve it, because you are ruckus, because you are loud. American crowds, you guys need to pick up your volume, pick up your ruckusness, pick up your fanfare when you're in the audience instead of scrolling on your phone. WWE is producing great content now. You don't have to sit on your phone. You can actually enjoy the storylines and the promos and the segments and the matches that they're producing. It's absolutely world-class, top-notch. So American crowds, I hope to see you guys improve, and international crowds, I hope to see you guys continue to be as ruckus as you was, and I hope that you will be as ruckus or even more ruckus than that French crowd was at WWE Backlash 2024. Now moving on to a award that we thought we were going to phase out last year, but you guys apparently still have some votes for it. So, worst commentator of the year 2024 goes to... Somewhere there's going to be a legal bald eagle flapping his wings and hating on all of you that voted for this man, but you guys voted Booker T as the worst commentator of the year. I suppose it has something to do with his gruff voice, but yeah. Calm down, legal bald eagle Jeremy. Calm down. All right. Now moving on to the Best Commentator of the Year award, and it's a guy who's really blossomed since Vince McMahon has left, Michael Cole. Now, take into account, Michael Cole in the past has been given a lot of flack. He's even won the Worst Commentator award, the award that's this year held by Booker T. He has been in that category of Worst Commentator, and I think it's really only because of what Vince was screaming at him in his earpiece. But under Triple H's leadership and guidance, he's really blossomed, and that is why he is now the Best Commentator of the Year 2024. Well done, Michael Cole. Now on to the Worst Newcomer or Return of the Year, and it goes to Adam Cole, baby. You know, this guy had an injury last year. It happens to everybody. But he returned to a lot of fanfare. We all expected big things for him, and it just turned out to be the biggest flop and failure. And I got nothing to say. I really have nothing much to say. Moving on to the Best Newcomer Return of the Year 2024, and it goes to Hollywood Rock. I think the best thing that could have happened was The Rock turning heel, because let's be honest, as much as we all love The Rock, him as a face was getting a bit stale, a bit bland, a bit boring. And this whole storyline with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes just flipped the whole script, flipped the whole script. And he is now the Best Newcomer or Return, rather, of the year 2024, as voted for by you guys. in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards. So, Hollywood Rock, thank you, and we look forward to more Hollywood Rock going forward in the future. Now, moving on to the least improved individual of the year. And it goes to the Final Testament. Not an individual, the entire stable. They came in with such fanfare at the beginning of the year, before the Rumble, in January. Authors of Pain, AOP, Akam and Razar, led by Karrion Kross and his valet, Scarlett Johansson, and Paul Ellering by this managing the AOP. So much of hope, so much of fanfare, so much that we expected out of the Final Testament, only for them to turn into the least improved individuals of the year 2024. Much more is needed. Maybe next year they could be in the next award, which is now the most improved individual, tag team of the year award, and it goes to, as voted for by you guys, Jey Uso. Yeet. If any of you saw Jey Uso entrance at Backlash, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The whole crowd yeeting with him. This was absolutely mesmerizing, to say the least. And Jey Uso, well deserved as the most improved individual of the year recipient this year. Now, moving on to, we're getting closer to the big awards. And it starts with the worst heel of the year 2024, as voted for by you guys in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards. And it goes to Karrion Kross. I just spoke about it minutes ago with the Final Testament. Karrion Kross has not improved at all. He was the star. He was the big main upfront star of the Final Testament. I would have likened him to Triple H in Evolution, the upfront star, the star in his prime, the star that should have broken out and made Final Testament great. And the stable has failed, and by default he has also failed, because he's failing to be the heel that he needs to be. It's just not translating, it's just not coming through. Even the whole thing with the Miz is not working as well as we would hoped it would have. So yeah, Karrion Kross wins the worst heel of the year award 2024. But who won the best heel of the year 2024 as voted for by you guys? Well, I have the answer right here, and it's quite obvious. Drew McIntyre from Scotland, from Ayr, Scotland. Drew McIntyre wins best heel of the year 2024 for his excellent performance as a heel this year. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely wonderful. I mean, this guy has just blossomed from, he's just gone from good to great, and he deserves that award as best heel of the year. Who was the worst face of the year 2024 as voted for by you? And it's unfortunate because last year this guy was red, white, hot. He was a white meat baby face, red hot. LA Knight. Yeah. His popularity has waned since last year. I mean, across this year, he hasn't improved. He hasn't gotten any better. He hasn't changed. I mean, even the year chants have gotten softer as compared to how loud they were last year. So I think it makes sense why LA Knight won the worst face of the year award. Now, who was the best face of the year 2024? The legal bald eagle Jeremy has said that if a certain individual that he didn't want to win as face of the year is voted face of the year, he will vomit. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Cody Rhodes, best face of the year 2024. Bald eagle Jeremy, you may now engage in an involuntary protein spill, as George Carlin would say. Majority of people who voted in the Pro Wrestling Central Awards voted Cody Rhodes as face of the year. I'm not sure if you guys have seen how Cody Rhodes wrestles. I'm not sure if you guys saw how he beat Kevin Owens at Saturday night's main event using a heel maneuver and not in the Eddie Guerrero kind of way. So, while majority of this year Cody Rhodes has been a top babyface of WWE, I don't see that continuing into 2024 simply by how his character and his demeanor and his style of wrestling has slowly been changing, and I see a heel turn, and maybe our favorite lovable Facebook jail veteran Sumit will get his wish and we get Bullet Club Cody in the WWE. Now moving on to the worst tag team or stable of the year as voted for by you guys in the 8th annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards for the year 2024, and it goes to, hi guys, The Learning Tree and Chris Jericho. Hi guys. Nah. I mean, borderline annoyance as expected by a heel, but I'm not buying into it. It's not clicking for me. Yeah, I got nothing more to say. Best tag team or stable of the year, however, goes to NXT's own NXT Tag Team Champions, Fraxium, that's Nathan Fraser and Axiom, as the best tag team of the year 2024 as voted for by you guys. So you guys know the pickings were slim this year in terms of tag teams. Triple H has said he's trying to work on improving the tag team division, but yeah, it needs more work, I think. Axiom and Nathan Fraser, Fraxium, was the best we could get this year. Unfortunately. Now, as voted for by you guys in the 8th annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, the worst female wrestler of the year, now we're getting into the meat of it, goes to AEW's own CEO, Mercedes Moné. Her promos are unbearable. As much as I love Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné is not cutting it for me. And the storyline she's been placed in, the title defenses she's had, is just not. Yeah, it goes back to the AEW issue and the problem, which is Tony Khan needs to up his game and improve himself in how he presents the product, the AEW product. I get it, it's all about the matches, but even your matches aren't helping. Mercedes Moné's matches have not helped it and not made us overlook her, for lack of a better term, terrible promo skills, I guess. So, however, on the contrary, best female wrestler of the year, as voted for by you guys in the 2024 Pro Wrestling Central Awards, goes to Timeless Toni Storm. Now, coming from the same promotion, Tony Khan, the same AEW, Timeless Toni Storm is was the best thing on AEW television at the time. I mean, the way she carried herself, her promos, even backstage during the press conferences or the media scrums as they call it, during her matches, her entrance, her exits, everything about Timeless Toni Storm was just perfect, done to a T. So, I don't know if Toni Storm came up with that by herself, but I think if Tony Khan allows certain individuals like Toni Storm who come up with great ideas to run with it like she did, there's potential there. There is high potential for them to produce excellent shows, excellent matches, promos, storylines that'll keep their fans and their viewers hooked onto their product. Now, we're getting down to the crux. The worst male wrestler of the year 2024, as voted for by you guys, goes to, and I never thought I would see this as the worst male wrestler of the year, but unfortunately it is Chris Jericho. Let me start by saying that this guy is actually in my top 10 or top 15 of all time, but recently he's just dropped way down. Like, some people are not Ric Flair. Most people are not Ric Flair. In fact, some people would argue Ric Flair should have retired way long time ago. And to see Chris Jericho in the space that he is now, where people are looking at him and like, it's not clicking, just goes to show Chris Jericho needs to try harder. Creative needs to do something better. Remember, Chris Jericho said there were stupid ideas from bad creative, or bad ideas from stupid ideas from bad creative. Chris Jericho is now a victim of his own medication, his own diagnosis. And I honestly wish Chris Jericho nothing but the best. I hope he gets better, he improves. But as of right now, he's not clicking, he's not cutting it, and a change is needed. I never thought I'd see the day where he'd be announced as the worst male wrestler of the year as voted for by you guys, but he is, and I can't argue with it much because he has not improved. He's not made himself great. This year has not been Chris Jericho's year. And let's move on to some good vibes. Best Male Wrestler of the Year Award 2024, as voted for by you guys in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, goes to the Ring General Gunther. I can't argue this. He's a great wrestler in terms of wrestling. He's been involved in some quite good storylines, so he deserves Best Male Wrestler of the Year 2024. Our penultimate award of the night is for the worst match of the year 2024, as voted for by you guys in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, and it goes to another award I can't argue with. Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania XL. You know the amount of years we've been waiting to see Jimmy and Jay, the twins, go at it against each other? Do you know the amount of hype that we went through on a weekly basis heading into WrestleMania, all the way from SummerSlam last year to this year's WrestleMania? The amount of hype that we all endured and went through to get to this match. A long-awaited match. A match almost 15 years in the making, if not longer than that. 15 years we waited for this match. To end up with a pile of garbage like that, like as if they weren't even trying, they were just relying on the whole story. They didn't tell us a story, they didn't give us a great match. The finish was so underwhelming, anticlimactic. There's so many things I could use, words I could say about this match, but I don't want to because I just don't care. But you see, when you hype a match of that magnitude, you expect something great. And Jimmy and Jey Uso did not give us something great, unfortunately. And that's why they are the winners of the worst match of the year. And now, for the final award of the night, in the 8th Annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards, as voted for by you guys, the viewers, the fans of pro wrestling, the Best Match of the Year 2024 award. And it goes to, drum roll please, Hell in a Cell, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Bad Blood 2024. Man, oh man, what a match. What a match that is a masterclass in a match. That is an exhibition of how a pro wrestling Hell in a Cell match, how it should be produced, how it should go, how much of blood should be used, what kind of weapons, that kind of brutality, the storyline leading up into it, and not just being an Oprah Winfrey show and going, you get a Hell in a Cell match, you get a Hell in a Cell match, you get a Hell in a Cell match. No. That match deserved to be Hell in a Cell. It was well deserved. They produced it excellently. I'm so proud and happy about how they did it and how they put it together. And that is how a Hell in a Cell match should look, feel, sound, everything from top to bottom about that match was just absolute brilliance. And congratulations to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for putting on a match worthy, and as a match that you guys felt so strongly about that you voted it as best match of the year 2024. There were a lot of candidates this year, and this match stood out as the match of the year 2024. So thank you, CM Punk. Thank you, Drew McIntyre, for giving us one heck of a match and winning the best match of the year 2024. So guys, that's all I have for you guys. That's a wrap from us here at Pro Wrestling Central for the year. Thank you to every single person who casted a vote, who voted in the Pro Wrestling Central Awards every year, including this year. We thank you. We appreciate you. We see you. We love you. Thank you for participating and voting in for it. After all, these awards wouldn't be anything without you guys. The power is literally in your hands, where you guys get to decide and vote on what you felt was the best and worst of pro wrestling in that particular year. This year being 2024, this year being our 8th annual, and we're going to keep it going for as long as we live, as long as we can, annual awards. Thank you. And at the end of the day, remember, pro wrestling is for the people, by the people. So once again, thank you to all. Thank you for joining us on the special presentation of the 8th annual Pro Wrestling Central Awards for the year 2024. On behalf of everyone at Pro Wrestling Central, I am the CEO of PWC, your boy Nashville. We love you all. And remember, pro wrestling, we love pro wrestling, we are pro wrestling. This is Pro Wrestling Central. We are for the people, by the people. We are Pro Wrestling Central.